west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he abdominal. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. Guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one west rising to prominence. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been as proper since a teeny bopper. But now I'm throwing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get through the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, but down the D, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. From the dusk to the dawn outside. So in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawing outside. Cause it's a war outside. My sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, your bladder be all outside. Cause it's a war outside. I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. And that's a definite. Cannonball, wrecking shit. Excellent. Rhyme rocket bombing like the president. I remain strong. King Kong with the prevalence. I show you exactly what we do, that's how I represent. Hardcore, heaven sent, chain on, hella bent. Throwing all black when they spot me like the leopard print. Oh, I got the braids in, shades on, made men. Cause we put in work to stop the earth until it caves in. Walk strong, talk heavy, hold my own. You rock solid when we bout to leave the sword, the stone. Nigga, we warriors, hardcore, tracking the pride. And let the Hebrew speak, nigga, general eyes. And we talking super heavy, nigga, that's the surprise. With all scripture, street talk, word the captain, the cod. Nigga, we blazing, ripping the mic with all facts, doing the knowledge to the max. Till we cracking the pavement. UPK, y'all the one West Harlem, nigga. We spring forward and they falling like it's autumn, nigga. Talking to all them niggas born in the mud. If you ain't feeling this, your cord unplugged, and that's real. Oh, I get it, cat tie, or they not of our kind. I get the order, then it's handle kind, not the one kind. Without a doubt in my mind, I'm finna stop and recline. Anybody that come against us, they should probably resign. Cause it's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. I hate these niggas throwing shots, but can they take some? Christ says, sell out your garments to get a sword now. I'ma go and sell off these polos to get a 4 pound. Damn sure ain't started the war, but I'ma end it. Cause the spiritual war could turn carnal any minute. I remember riding back in the days, window was tinted. But Salaki, I'm done with that carnal shit, I repented. And they bomb-proof the booth every time I'm about to go win it. You ain't know this shit, I live for this truth and I'ma defend it. And I get my second win focus as soon these niggas get winded. It's a war going on outside. I'm jumping in it. It's a war going on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. From the dust to the dawn outside. So in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawn outside. Cause it's a war outside. My sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, you better be all outside. Cause it's a war outside. I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside.
Nobody's safe, it's a war out here. If you pussy in the streets, you a whore out here. See me all suited up in my fallout gear. 762, flip your fucking car out here. No burner, I still break your jaw out here. No fear, if you scared, get a motherfucking pit. Or sit up in the church, you a motherfucking bitch. I give you in the verse what I give you in a clip. It's 32 rounds of fire, it never quit. A lot of fuckery going down, so what's the purpose? Sick of hanging around these clowns, get out the circus. If you cross that line, then you get lit up. The worst is all black hearses, tinted with black curtains. Docs on site with medics and mad nurses. Leave us out your verses. You don't want that kind of war, ready for that bullshit. Kinda like a matador. Get this kind of focus, you gon' need some Adderall. Something just to lock you in behind them padded walls. They say I got some screws loose, and that's true too. Don't let me let them wolves through like it's a full moon. It's like I transform the booth to a war room. Come up with a strategy, maximizing your calories. Courage of King David, battling like the Maccabees. Find out who you think that nigga, walk to him casually. Then proceed to bar his life away rapidly. Take a knee for your majesty, take it, they hate it savagely. I try leaving rap alone, but I guess that this had to be. Keep you grounded like gravity, in the ville, but it's amity. Horror, I seen calamity, scar you up for my family. Mumble rappers be mad at me, fuck them up in they faculty. They words sweet, sit in they mouth and causing cavities. Yeah, it's a war, but none of you suckers worry.
It's a war going on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside. From the dust to the dawn outside. So in the morning outside, I'm catching wreck when they drawn outside. Cause it's a war outside. My sword drawn outside. This Excalibur, you better be all outside. Cause it's a war outside. I get it on outside. You in the crib, but the ball outside. I get it on outside.
Shalom, Lord in Christ. Shalom, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Barak Atha, Barak Thum, Shalom, Yahweh, Shema Allah Thum, Hashem, Yahweh Shah. This is Monday. We are the ISUPK, Detroit. This is the history class. Normally coming to you on Monday, brought to you by Officer. I'm sitting in for that mighty man, Officer 1000 Kazak. I'm Officer Mashah. And this is the history class. We are the ISUPK coming to you 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And since 1969, when we've been bringing forth the truth in this world. I'm the Commandant General Yohana. The truth that we've been bringing forth in this world is that your so-called blacks, your Negroes, your so-called Hispanics, Mexicans, and South Americans, natives, and your so-called native Indians are in fact the children of Israel, the lost children of Israel, the lost sheep called Israel. That's you, me, black man, black woman, so-called Latino man, Latino woman, Native American man, Native American woman. That's you and me. And this is the history class This class is not gonna be real long today. We just gonna deal with the elephant in the room, and everybody know what that is, right? The coronavirus and what's going on. The first thing that I've noticed about the coronavirus is I don't see any Christian preachers running up on TV, opening their mouths, talking about how powerful their God is. Especially you black Christians, black so-called Negro Christians. But every time I turn around, go on the internet, look up, there's an Israelite, especially in the ISUPK, telling you the straight up truth. And that truth is that this coronavirus is both historical and biblical. Historical and biblical. Now, we're going to go straight to it. If you will, Exodus 12. We want to start at Exodus 12. Now, the reason the coronavirus is both historical and biblical, because it's the beginning of what was done before. It's the beginning of what was done before. You know, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. And if you would dare study these scriptures, this Bible, with the ISUPK, if you would just do that, study it with the ISUPK, black man, black woman, Latino man, Latina woman, Native American man, Native American woman. If you would just study the Bible with the ISUPK, because you know we are all over the internet. You can't help but stumble. You put those letters in the internet, ISUPK, I don't care whether it's Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever search engine you go on, you stick those letters and you can find some studying with us. If you want to know the truth, like you're finna learn today, with this being historical, this coronavirus being historical and biblical, why we make that connection? Because you're living history right now. You're living biblical history right now. You see. In my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this, and I suspect everybody else on the face of the planet that can look at the internet or TV is saying the same thing. In their lifetime, they've never seen anything such as this. Scare everybody. But it's happened. Oh, it happened. I know what I'm gonna go back even further. I was gonna go back to just one spot. Let me go back further. I'm gonna go to a different scripture. Salakia, Israel. Let's go to this one here. Because you have to see that even though it looks real crazy to us, and it's unbelievable to us, this is nothing new. A worldwide pandemic, a worldwide catastrophe is nothing new. Shalaki Israel, I'm almost there. Y'all know I'm going over to Genesis, right? Back it up just one more chapter. Here we go. See what we do. Okay, we're going to Genesis 9. Let's go back up a couple more chapters. Genesis 7. Genesis 7, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. The Most High is looking down on the face of the earth. The ark is built. He's telling Noah to get his family into the ark. You know the story. Let's go down to verse 4. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. Verse 5, and Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. Now watch this. In Noah's time, it's widely taught that they went about their business. Here's this man of God, Noah, who dare obey, dare holds on to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, teaches them to his sons, who in turn live that way, live according to the law, statutes, and commandments. But the rest of the world is living in utter debauchery. What are we talking about? Well, let's see. A big thing during Noah's time was homosexuality, not a problem. Orgies and such, bestiality. In Noah's time, it was get while you can get. Walk over people. The world had gotten out of hand. It looked much like decadent Rome during the Caesars. You see, it looked much like Rome during the 1600s when the Borgias was in the Vatican. That's what Noah's time. It was what? Eat, drink, and be merry. And the Most High's patience ran out with the world. And he determined to send a plague of rain upon the earth. And this is what he said it's going to do. This is what he said it's going to do. For yet, this is verse 4, Genesis 7, for yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. Verse 5, and Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. Now, how do we know that this took place and is true? In every culture on the earth today, there is a flood story in their history. There is a worldwide flood story. And understand, this was worldwide. Worldwide, one family survived. 8 people. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. Everybody else now, it ain't raining yet. Noah's putting them on there. The Most High done told him what's going to happen. Here we go. verse 16, Genesis 7, verse 16. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him. And the Lord shut him in, meaning the Lord closed the door. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lifted up above the earth. The whole entire earth was flooded. You've heard about it, you've seen it, you've been hearing about it since you was a child. The Christian church even told you the story. But here's what the Christian church did. They told you the story the way Hollywood wanted it told, and thereby gave you a fairy tale. They gave you religion, and this was one of the stories. But what so happened is they had to tell it. They couldn't get away for it. It's written in the Bible. The flood story is in the Bible, and there was 8 souls left when that flood ended. And of those 8 souls, the nations of the earth came from them, and they passed it down, the flood story. It's in the artifacts, has been found in archaeological digs among different peoples, the written flood story. You see, the written flood story. So that's biblical, and archaeologically we find out it's historical. It actually happened. Even here in the Americas, in places like the Grand Canyon, where you can clearly see the difference in the rock sediments where water once covered everything before the Most High made it recede. It's historical, it's there. Why is that so important? Because today in 2020, you have no excuse. The oppressor has for 400 years here, for sure, taken our records, which we had lost memory of, and presented them back to us as his what? Religious book of religion. His book of religion, and presented it back to us in a fairy tale form. And we have been so blind for at least 400 years that we didn't even recognize our own history written down in front of us. We looked at those people in the Bible as if they're somebody else. But understand, the Bible says in the last day, Israel is going to wake up. Israel is going to be redeemed. Israel is going to be rescued. Let's go to Deuteronomy. I'm going to do the obvious. Deuteronomy 28. Let's go to verse 1. And it shall come to pass, this is Moses talking to Israel, after they've been freed from Egypt. Let's back it up, because I really want to go before this statement. So let's take it back to Exodus. That's what we're going to do. Take it back to Exodus. What did we say? 10. Exodus 12. And 12. Listen to this real closely. I'm telling you, this is historical and it's biblical. This type of talking to the world is not new. The coronavirus is not new. In Noah's day, Noah told them it was going to rain. What you building that big old thing for? What is it? It's an ark. It's a boat, man. For what? It's going to rain. They laughed until the flood waters came. 400 years we've been here in America. And I'm sure for as long somebody's been telling the slave who he really is. Long 1969, a whole new telling got started in here. And we've been bringing forth that truth ever since then. And that's what we're going to keep saying. That's what we're going to keep saying, is that you are Israelites, according to the Bible. You are the chosen of God among all the nations on the face of the earth. And he is upset the way you, so-called black man, so-called native man, so-called Latino man, the Most High is upset about the way you've been treated over the last 400 years. Period, in this earth, that he's now beginning to ramp up his reasoning with the other nations. Look where he let it start among them Moabites, the Chinese, this coronavirus. And guess what? Now they got some, what's that, N5, N1 flu virus over there. So it's a whole nother virus kicking up over there right now. And Corona has blanketed the world. The coronavirus has blanketed the world. But look what happened in Egypt. Just so you know, it's not new. Exodus 12, verse 12, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. Against all the gods of Egypt. You see, because Buddha can't stop the coronavirus no more than he can stop another one of them tornadoes that then hit southern United States again. One city down there near Nashville dealing with corona and tornado damage. They lost, what, 30-something people. The Most High is speaking to you and for you, Israel, Yasharah. Speaking to you and for you. And you know what? All the other nations, their power structure knows this. Look how crazy this is. What was one of the first things Donald Trump did once he became president? What was one of the first things he did? He instituted a space force. Did anybody catch that? He directed this country's military force away from the ground and into the sky, because he knows, he knows what this Bible really is. I don't know if y'all knew this, but they advertise it all the time about presidents and the president's spiritual advisor. Salakia, Israel. Shalom, Yahweh Shem HaShem. Salakia, Israel. The Most High is executing judgment. Look what he did. And when you go back and you study the history of the destruction of the world's strongest nation at the time, let's take a look at what was going on back there. First of all, they became the top nation in the world due to Israelite intervention. What are we talking about? We're talking about Joseph initially going down into Egypt and being able to what? Interpret Pharaoh's, the king's, dreams, and thereby prepare him for the upcoming famine. And when the famine hit, all nations sold their wealth for food, and they sold their wealth into Egypt. Into Egypt. The Greeks, everybody that was on the face of the earth at this time found their food in Egypt because there was a famine. And where did that famine come from? It came from the Most High. The Most High already knew he was sending the famine. And he got this young man, Joseph, he gave him the ability to interpret dreams and visions, even his own, as well as other people. And so he was able to warn Pharaoh. And Pharaoh was able to store up grain on grain, that when nobody else could grow any grain, they could come and get it from Egypt. He had the market covered. And righteously, when that hard time hit, Joseph's family came in and got them a nice piece of Egypt. Why? Because Joseph was second in command of all of Egypt. I guess he would be the vice president. He ran everything, and he looked out for his brothers. He looked out for his family. And we went down into Goshen. He understood politics and economics. He understood the word of the Most High and did not want his people influenced by the Egyptians. He wanted to protect his people and keep them separate from the Egyptians. And so he instructed them that when they go in to talk about what type of occupation they do, what's your profession, tell them you were sheep herders. Because the Egyptians thought you was Lord than you know what if you was a sheep herder. But they also knew Their sheep needed certain types of land and fertile land to be raised on, and they wanted to please Joseph and all that. They understood that, and so that's what they told him. It got them the good land down in Goshen, and it got them to be separate away from the Egyptians. Let me sidebar a little bit on the history. This is still history. When we first went into Egypt, what did we want to do? Did we want to integrate with Egypt? No, we didn't. Joseph said, tell them you're sheep herders. Tell them you're sheep herders. Come along some thousands of years later, and we get this clown by the name of Michael King, Orgy Mike. And he convinces my grandmothers, grandfathers, mother and father, uncles and aunties to what? To integrate with the oppressor. He said he could see clearly the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners sitting down at the table of brotherhood. And with that type of rhetoric, convinced our parents to go into a burning house. And he even acknowledged that later on, right before he was killed for his treachery. So I believe I had led my people into a burning house. And since this time, once he was killed, we've been getting killed and hunted, and everything has been ripped away from us that we thought we had. But down in Egypt, with just 70 people, we decided to obey and to stay separate. That's why we say Christianity is the fairy tale. They trick you with nothing in Christianity but lies. Because the Most High has always told Israel to stay separate from the nations. In fact, Martin King knew it was against the law of God to teach the children of Israel to integrate with any other nation. Remember, when you integrate, you intimate. And the Most High told us, don't give our daughters to them for wives, and don't take their daughters for wives. But Martin Luther King was of those Jakes, of those in flesh only Israelites, whose ultimate goal was to bed a white woman, to sleep with a white woman. And he did it as a preacher who he represented himself. The Christian church represented him. Preachers, they tell us that these preachers, these are the men of the Most High. These preachers are the men of God. And here's your leaders, Israel, preachers. Why you so into the word? First of all, it's your word. Why it was so easy to drag you into the churches? Why? Because inside of you, you know, you can hear the word calling to you. You can hear God, the truth calling to you, even though you was raised up without it. You got to just brush all that Christianity off your mind. So when you hear the truth from the ISUPK, when we teach you the truth, such as that brother that died from the COVID virus, we're not going to get too excited about him dying, because what? We know he's going to be reborn through his own family bloodline. Why? Because the Bible is saying all of Israel shall be saved. You see that? Right now, We're fighting for crowns. And we're trying to tell you, Israel, we're trying to tell you that you're living in that land that the Bible describes as it holds every foul spirit, every cage and evil bird. This land here, and this coronavirus is nothing more than the Most High letting all of us down here know He's still in charge. He's that same God that freed. He's the same one. The one that brought the coronavirus is the same one that killed the firstborn in Egypt. It's the same one that made it rain for 40 days and 40 nights and flooded the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Same one. The same one. Just because you've been convinced the Most High is a fairy tale and the devil is a cartoon doesn't mean any of that's true. This Bible is the truth. So, Slovakia, Israel. Yes, this Bible is the truth. That's your real truth. This Bible is the truth. Let me cut this down. And that's what the coronavirus is. It's historical, it's biblical, it's been done before. Listen to this. For I will again, Exodus 12:12, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. Look at here. Where are the Muslims right now with the coronavirus? What about these great big talking imams? Forgot they sold out to the oppressor long ago, just like the Christians did. In fact, we know that the mosque and the Christian church is one and the same. What does it do? Over in Deuteronomy 28, we were told that a certain thing would happen. Let's go look at it. Deuteronomy 28. Let's go down past the 15th verse. I don't know how to get it real quick. Deuteronomy 28:36. Let me show you history. The Lord shall bring thee. Now this is Deuteronomy 28. In Deuteronomy 28:1, Moses told the people, if you listen to what I say and you keep the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, He's going to set you high above every nation on the face of the earth. If you hearken to diligently keep all that I say. And he pronounced all these blessings. Then in the 15th verse, he said, however, if you don't, if you fail, let's go there. Let's go there. Verse 15, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, prior to this, Moses told him there was going to be a ton of blessings if you obey, if you hearken, if you diligently listen to and follow the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You will be blessed so well that you will be above every nation on the face of the earth. But if you decided not to obey, now let's go down. He said these curses going to overtake you. One of those curses is found in verse 36. You ready? Deuteronomy 28 and 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Now that means whoever this nation that's going to come against Israel, if they disobey, it's going to be a nation that did not live among them right then and there when Moses is talking to the children of Israel. It would be a nation that they would not know, and neither did their fathers know before them. And there shall unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. So they would go into this nation. This nation would come against them and would conquer them bad enough that they would be forced to serve the gods of wood and the god of stone. The god of wood and the god of stone. The god of stone, that is so easy. Just think about, what do they walk around over in Mecca when they go over there on their pilgrimage? At least once in their life, to walk around a big stone, a meteorite. And they stick their head in the stone and all of this. The god of stone is Islam. And then what did they do with our king, Yahushua, who they called Jesus? They hung him on a tree. And then they took that same old weapon of death and turned it into some jewelry, and it's called a cross. It's called the cross. That's the god of wood. Christianity represents the god of wood through its cross, and Islam represents the god of stone through its stone. You see, that's if you disobey, and that's where you are now. Let's keep reading. Verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. See, when we did not obey, we got led into all nations on the earth through the Syrian captivity, the Babylonian captivities, the routing of Israel in 70 AD. The Most High scattered us, gave us no peace, scattered us. Why? Because we disobeyed. And how do we do it? With other peoples. Other peoples. But when he dealing with the earth, or he dealing with other people, oftentimes, how does he do it? He deal it with phenomenons, events, weather events, floods, storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, they call whirlwinds. You see that? He does it with drought. He does it with famine. And right now, he's made the earth tremble with the coronavirus. Verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. Have you ever heard of the term nigger rig? I mean, it ain't done perfect, but that's how a nigga would do it. It'll work. It'll get you there. I didn't really understand the term until I was over in Korea as a young man, and I heard the term kimchi rig. Then being raised up as a Christian, guess what? I felt pretty bad about saying kimchi rig, but now that I'm out of that Christian stuff, and I'm in the ISUPK, and I've learned the truth, they can say kimchi rig all they want to. You know, that's how y'all treat us. Y'all so upset right now because the Chinese getting treated like niggas. Getting beat up and told to move just because you're a Chinese. Move your ass over there with your corona carrying ass. That's how they getting treated. And man, we don't feel no pain for it. I ain't got nothing for them. I ain't got nothing for them. The Most High tells us that everything that happens on this earth, these people have brought it upon themselves. It's kind of like if you didn't know, you should have known. And if you didn't know, well, now you know. Now you know. You thought you understood what the Bible said. Well, now you're beginning to get an understanding. Listen. Revelations 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. The earth was lightened. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Babylon the Great is fallen. Listen, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Christianity and Islam. The kings of the earth supports these. They support these. Christianity and Islam has led you away from the Most High. And Corona is here to help you see the light. Come on now, think about it. Think about it. The whole Christian system didn't have the righteousness enough that when priests and preachers were revealed to be sexually abusing children, they wasn't honest enough, righteous enough to just to call them out. Just to call them out on it. They wasn't righteous enough to defrock them, to take their license, to stop them. Why wouldn't students of the Bible not protect children? Think about that. We're talking about your Christian church. Since in America, most of our people are Christian, most Israelites are Christian. I would suspect that our natives are probably more Presbyterians, United Methodists, our blacks are Baptists, and Pentecostal, them hellfire, the upbeat church is Baptist, you know. Now Latino brothers are what? Catholic. Damn near universal Catholic. It was that Catholic Church It protected all them priests that abused all them children. And though a lot of those children that came forth from that Catholic stuff is Edomites, were Edomites. You can only imagine what was done to the children of Gad. Think about the Indian Wars, the 40 years of the Indian Wars and what they did to our brothers and sisters. So like it, let me get some water. Corona is paying them back. Let's keep reading. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. I love how Capital Bond broke this down. You know who the abundance of her delicacies are in this? Her being Babylon, her delicacy is what? The children of Israel that she keeps in captivity throughout the earth. The children of Israel she keeps in captivity throughout the earth. This is how the kings of the earth committed fornication with her, and the merchants became rich. Why? Look around you right now. A major city, a decent sized suburb, hell, an incorporated village. If there's enough black folk there, y'all got a black part of town. Y'all got a East End, Monroe. Y'all got Chocolate City, Detroit, or whatever side, Chicago. I don't know them all. Y'all got Watts. Wherever you are, you got Harlem, the Bronx. You got your, ghettos and your barrios, wherever you are. The children of Israel are going to be herded right now. Go look into a neighborhood. And in that neighborhood, they're gonna have their share of businesses. They're gonna have their share of businesses. The problem with those businesses is that the children of Israel, the Israelites, won't be the owners of those businesses. Us paying the rent on the building, even though it's the school, in this hood, that is just odd and unheard of. See very few blacks doing anything that looks like business in this hood in Detroit. Oh, let me correct that. You see Africans, but I'm talking about black Israelites, or Israelite blacks, not African blacks, Israelite blacks. Why? Because we disobeyed the Most High. We see right here, it's telling us to come out of her. And I heard another voice from heaven, verse 4, saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Well, you want to know why there are black people catching the coronavirus? Why there are Latinos so-called Latinos, so-called blacks, so-called native catching the corona. Why? Because we are so deep into Babylon. Into Babylon. And when he sent the virus to punish those who committed these atrocities against us, and yet we die. Why? Because we commit atrocities against ourselves. And what's the atrocity most often committed? The one that's most often committed is that we have turned our backs on the Most High and decided to be either a Christian or a Muslim. We decided to perpetuate the lie that God loves everybody. We have decided to perpetuate the lie that Muhammad is actually a messenger from God. That's what we've done. That's what we've done. That's why the Most High has to speak to us on this broad scale, this global scale. Who can deny that the Most High of the Bible got this one? All you scientists, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, WHO, the World Health Organization, best doctors, Doctors Without Borders. Y'all can't even protect yourselves. You cannot even protect yourselves. You know, those folks out there know the Most High is talking to them. I'm going to throw something at you. They know what we try to teach y'all, what we believe y'all just supposed to know. Of course, we're going to go to one of our favorite verses, Judas 5:20. And this is what you should know. Here, Yasharallah, Israel, so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans. Listen to this. This is your Bible. Judas 5, starting at the 20th verse. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. Your ruin, here's somebody of another nation who knows our history. And at this particular time in our history, we've camped out up in the hills. We've camped out up in the hills and we've resisted this fella and his army. He said, who the hell are those people? He said, who are those people? And here's his servant who knows our history. That's coming to him saying, now therefore, my Lord and Governor. This fella knows us. He knows our history. And now he's telling his boss our history. He said, with these people up here, these Israelites, these people, if there be any error in them, and they have sinned against their God, this sin shall be their ruin. You get that? We are in the condition we are in as a people because of our sin. But there are brothers and sisters around you determined to stop sinning, they have determined to return to the laws, statute, commandments of the Most High. They are called the ISUPK. We are called the ISUPK, the home of the truth. We're going to read verse 21 in a second, and when we do, you're going to understand why talk go on, but nobody approaches, nobody trying to bother us. Verse 21, it's Judas 5, verse 21. But, he just said in verse 20, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this, the sin, shall be their ruin. And if they have sinned, we can say, let us go up, and we shall overcome them. That's the first message he gave them. He said, but. Now this is the best thing, one of the best things about the Bible, gonna give you the whole story. You want them Arabs out of your neighborhood, black man, black woman, Mexican man, Latino woman, Native American man, Native American woman. You want to really, really get them off of what's called the reservations. You want to do something about alcoholism on reservations and the disappearance of Native American women. You want to do something about black on black crimes, fatherless children. You want to do something about ICE separating children from their parents and placing the children in cages. You want to do something about you being called an illegal immigrant in the land of your ancestors, then come into the ISUPK. Because here you learn to live without sinning. Here you learn to fight your hankering, your desire to sin. You only learn it here. You don't learn it any other place. And why? Because the generals, the captains, the officers know what these folks knew, this one fellow knew in Judas 5 and 21. Listen to this precept, Judas 5 and 21. But, in spite of everything I just said, which happened to be true, here's some more. If there be no iniquity in their nation, if there be no sin in the people, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. This fella is remembering Egypt. This fella is remembering what happens when Israel turn and cry out to the Most High. It's historical. You have to see the coronavirus as the Most High's response to all these brothers and sisters since 1969 in the ISUPK crying out. I've been in the truth a short while, and I can remember so many times the commanding general Hunter said, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And I can't remember one time I haven't seen it come to fruition. Why? Because he gets his instructions from the Most High. You see that? That's where he gets his instructions from. And he follows these laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, and that's what the ISUPK teach people, to get iniquity, to get sin out of your life, to fight your own demons, fight your demons. That's what the brotherhood is about, is to help brothers fight their demons. You see, these people already know as long as we stay Christians and stay Muslims, that we stay in sin. These people already know, I'm telling you, the Creflo Dollars know, the T.D. Jakes know, the Ellises know, the Christianity and the Bible do not go together. They don't go together. The Yahweh Shah was not some passive, mealy-mouthed, effeminate somebody that loved to just whisper real softly. No. He was an austere man. And he didn't need a microphone to be heard when he talked. And he was 100% about law, statute, commandments, and the Most High. And now that's what we're trying to be about. But we wanted to take time today in this history class to let you understand that there's no need to be in awe. What's really, really going on, it's already there in front of you historically. You remember the plague, and these are what they call it, the bubonic, pneumonic plague, the Black Death. The Most High ordered that. Anytime you have these plagues, the Most High, you know, and the reason I'm pushing this, because I want my brothers and sisters to stop giving the oppressor credit for the Most High's work. I know you mean well, but when you say, well, the white man, he done made this virus, he done pushed it, stop it. Stop it. This plague is killing the oppressor. The oppressor had nothing, he has nothing to do with this except for receive his punishment. Receive it. This is the Most High. He said he would reason with the kings of the earth for his people. He's reasoning with them. And so you might want to know what the Most High is talking to you about, kings of the earth. Let his people go. That's what he wants you to do. Let his people go. Those who are what? The synagogue of Satan, you Jewish people, get out. Beat it. Leave. And let the Most High people go. America, let us go. Quit forcing Christianity down my throat. Quit forcing homosexuality down our throat. Quit forcing pork down our throat. Quit forcing love of money down our throat. The Most High is reasoning with you right now. Can you hear him, America? Can you hear him, England? Can you hear him, Jamaica? Dominican Republic, Haiti, Germany, Korea. Can you hear him? He's reasoning with you about his people. He's reasoning with you right now in the midst of a coronavirus, a worldwide pandemic. He's trying to tell you he's done with the way you treat his children. So-called black, so-called Latino Americans, so-called Natives American. He's tired. He's done with it. And it would be in your best interest. Here's what you do. Take a state like Michigan. Pretty fertile state. And you tell the Israelite, the ISUPK, tell them they can have the state. There it is. and leave us alone and let the Most High deal with us. That's all you have to do. And this will stop. Return the children of Israel to the Most High. Kick them out of your Christian churches. They ain't got no business in there in the first place. Our people don't need to be in your Christian church. Kick them brothers. Take away their credentials, man. They are not you. They are Israelites. Let them go. Let them go. Christianity, let them go. Let them come back home to the nigger God and his priests and his prophets. This coronavirus is historical as well as biblical, and you can see it's come in biblical proportion. I heard somebody say on the news, apocalyptic. Apocalyptic. Just sound, ooh. If you're scared of the coronavirus, then it's a sure thing you are not in the ISUPK. And you need to study. And you need to study. You need to get to a school near you. We're in all 50 states, I'm sure. We're in the city not far from you. We are around the world. ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, where you heard it first. The coronavirus is from the Most High. He's from the Most High. And he is reasoning with the world about his children. I don't know how much of a grace period you guys got. But if I was an advisor to the power brokers in this world, I would tell them to let the children of Israel go so they can return to their homeland, no matter where they are on the face of the earth. And if anybody is occupying our homeland, I would suggest they get the hell out before Yahweh Shah gets back. Your Space Force ain't gonna be able to stop him with his millions upon millions of angels when he come back to get his brothers. He's coming back for his brothers. The coronavirus is here to warn you that he's coming back for his brothers. This ain't no joke. This is not a joke. And with that, I'm going to say shalom, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah to the brothers. Shalom, Shema Latah B'Hashem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. This is the ISUPK, started at the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Started in 1969, and we have been bringing forth the truth in this land under command in General Han, and that truth is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans are the lost sheep of Israel. Shalom.